Welcome to Inner Voice. This video is all about habits, and in the last video I recommended a book by Charles Duhigg called The Power of Habit. And this book was a game changer for me because it helped me understand how the brain works in forming habits. And once I understood this, I was able to break many habits. It's just understanding how everything works. Like, I'm just a system processing everything, and I have to learn how this system works in order to control the system. So since listening to the book, I broke the habit of biting my nails, one of many habits, and that was a 30-year habit that I was able to break. And to explain how everything works, we're going to start with a story from the book, and it's about a group of MIT professors that had an experiment with a rat. They put the rat in a T structure, and the rat would be at the bottom of the structure, and on the other end of the T, we had chocolate and nothing. What they did was they had a gate. They had a device that would click. They clicked the device, and then the rat would traverse through this T structure. And they were monitoring all of his brain activities. And what they found the first time through this experiment, its brain was working at a maximum. It was optimally firing on all cylinders, trying to figure out, smelling everywhere, trying to figure out where this chocolate is, just looking for this. It's the first time it's ever gone through this activity, and it was at full capacity. And eventually the rat found the chocolate. And then what did they do? They ran the experiment over and over and over again. And what they found was it found the chocolate faster and faster every single time, until the point where they would click the device, the gate would open, and it would go right to the chocolate. But the amazing thing was they found the brain activity. There was almost very limited brain activity at the end. Like, after it's done it 1,000 times, once it learned this action, there was no brain activity. Like, obviously it still functions, the brain's still working, but the activity that was there before, firing at all cylinders, that's quieted down. And the reason for that is because the way our brain works is when it's first learning an activity, it's working at a maximum. Like, if I'm riding a bike, learning how to ride a bike, my brain is at full capacity trying to figure out, how am I doing this? If you fall, like, you don't want to get hurt, so your brain is working maximum to try to figure this out. But once you learn how to ride a bike, and you've been riding a bike for a week, a month, a year, you don't have to go through that learning curve anymore. You've already figured it out. And so what happens when you figure that out, when you learn an activity, like brushing your teeth, tying your shoes, your brain is so amazing, and it stores it in our old friend, the basal ganglia. So everything gets stored in your basal ganglia because at first your brain's at full capacity, but your brain and our body always wants to use energy in a wise way. We always want to conserve our energy. Because of that, we don't need to use our brain at a max to do an activity that we've done 1,000 times. We've learned that activity. Because we've learned it, instinctually we put it in our basal ganglia, and we chunk all of that activity. It's called chunking. Chunk it together, and we store it in our memory. So whenever I have to go brush my teeth, I pull it from my basal ganglia, and it knows what to do. And I can have a conversation while I'm doing that. But the first time I brush my teeth, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm concentrating, I don't really know what I'm doing, and my brain's firing at all cylinders. But I think that's just amazing how everything goes into the basal ganglia after a while, and that's where we pull everything from to do any action correctly. Another story that will help you understand how memory and habit work is through a story about a man called E.T. They called him E.T. And what happened to him was he had a virus, and it was the herpes virus, but it got into his brain. So he had an infection in his brain, and it started eating away at the center of the brain. And they were able to fight off the infection, but what they found is the area that was damaged by this infection was the area of the brain that controlled all short-term memory. So EP had absolutely no short-term memory. And when he went home after being hospitalized, what happened was he would end up doing the same thing over and over again, just going back to old habits. So for an example, in the morning he would wake up and he would make breakfast, go have a shower, lie in bed and listen to the radio, just like he did every other morning. But now he would close his eyes and forget that he did all of that and then do it again, and then do it again. And then his wife was all worried, like, my husband is gaining weight because he's eating 10 times a day. He doesn't remember that he already ate. And the solution was, okay, he needs exercise, but he can't just go and walk around the block because he has no memory. He doesn't remember anything. So the wife had to walk with him every single day. So every day they're going on these walks and he's starting to lose weight and everything's good. But one day, EP went missing. He went for a walk alone. And the wife, of course, is in a panic because her husband has absolutely no short-term memory. And she's going to the neighbor's house, going to the police, looking frantically for her husband. Where is my husband? And after searching for about 2 hours, she finally made it home. And who's there? EP. This was a major breakthrough because what they found was, even though he had no memory, the fact that he did the same walk every single day for a year or two, it was ingrained in his brain. I like to call that inbrained. And now that's just a part of the basal ganglia. It's just part of his motor skills. That's just something he does. So he was able from that point on to go for walks on his own with having no memory. I thought that that was just unbelievable because it's now in the basal ganglia. That's just part of his motor skills. That's what he does. It just knows, even though no memory. Just unreal. Over the last few years, I've changed a lot of habits in my life. Now I have a lot of good habits, and that's because I had some older habits and you just have to replace them. You need to find your new habit, whatever it is you want to do, and you have to do it a little bit at a time. The problem is a lot of people, let's say they want to work out. When someone wants to work out and they've lived their whole life of not exercising, your body knows not to exercise. Your basal ganglia is saying, I don't exercise, I chill out and relax and watch TV. So if you go and all of a sudden you think, I'm going to change my diet and work out, and that's what I'm going to do, and you go to the gym every day for a week, 5 days, and you work out 1 to 2 hours and you really push yourself, that isn't a habit. So when you go and take a few days off and then think, oh, I'm going to go to the gym, but it's raining or whatever, your mind goes back to autopilot. Autopilot is sit on the couch. I don't want to work out. It's too much work. And then you don't end up doing it. And that's because you're just trying to jump into something cold turkey, and you can't do that. You have to slowly, if it's a bad habit, you have to slowly get rid of it. And if it's a good habit, you have to slowly add it. And that's all it is. And if you have a bad habit, you need to replace it with a good habit. So anytime you think about doing this bad habit, you add your good habit. Over the last year and a half, I've been doing calisthenic workouts, which is anything body weight. So push up, pull up, dips, but it gets a little more advanced the further you go into it. And I love it. But I have big goals for this. I want to do the flagpole, the planche, the front lever, and the muscle up. These are big movements and they take a lot of time to do. And practice. I have to teach my basal ganglia how to do these, and I still haven't. It takes a lot of time. But when I first started getting into this is how you get into working out. This is, if you're someone out there and you're thinking, I want to work out, this is how you do it. Here's my plan. So the first month, all I did was 3 times a week for 15 minutes, 3 exercises. At this point, you're just doing it. You're not pushing yourself too hard. If you want to, you can, but you're just teaching yourself that for 15 minutes, 3 times a week, this is what I'm doing. So what's important is not the intensity. What's important is just the act of doing it. You just need to be doing whatever it is you want to do. And 15 minutes, 3 times a week. And then after that month of doing it, I'm happy. It's like, I did this. And you should reward yourself every single time. That's a big part of the habit building. Give yourself a reward. Like at that moment, then go ahead and eat or have that treat, whatever it is, because you're just learning this new habit. You just want to encourage anything that will say, yes, continue to do this. So whatever it is, just keep doing it because you're learning this new behavior. And for me, you'll see on the second month, Now I'm adding more time to it and I'm adding more exercises. And then the third month, even more and even more. And now look at how much I work out. Now I'm working out 2 times a day, 4 times a week. It takes a lot of time, but it's a part of me now. I've programmed my basal ganglia to know this. This is how much you're working out. This is what you're doing. I've done this as well with audiobooks. At first, I started listening to audiobooks while I commute to work just a few times a week. And then it was, I like this. This is pretty good. It's keeping me centered. It keeps me motivated. I'm really enjoying this. I need to keep doing it. And then it was on my way to work and on my way home from work. And each day I just started doing it more and more. And now it's an everyday thing, even to the point where it's not only when I commute, it's when I walk my dog, it's when I'm cooking, when I'm doing anything. So it's very important that you, whatever activity or action that you want to do, you don't have to just jump into it right away. Actually, it will be very difficult to continue doing it if you do it that way. For my calisthenic workouts, a lot of the actions, a lot of the exercises that I want to be able to do are going to take me 3-5 years to do. That's a long time. I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. And because I'm doing it for the rest of my life, it's a healthy lifestyle for a reason. It's not a healthy month or a healthy 2 months. It's a healthy lifestyle. And in order to do that, you need to turn it into a habit. The only way to turn something into a habit, from my experience, is do it slowly. Just start, as long as you're doing it, just do it slowly. And then as you continue to do it, you'll feel better, and then you'll be happy with it, and you're just training yourself. And what I've found especially is the more I'm doing this with my audiobook, my self-help, my working out, the more all the other stuff goes away. I'm too busy to watch TV right now. I keep adding stuff to my life. So the basal ganglia is like, oh, you're doing this now, you're not doing that. And it's important that you replace those actions with new, healthier activities. And it's pretty simple once you start thinking about it, because what does your mind have to fall back on if you never train it? So like for me, when I used to get stressed, I'd bite my nails. And it was because I didn't know what other action to do. Because for the first 30 years of my life, that's what I did. And I never replaced that action. So if I'm not replacing or changing this action of me biting my nails anytime I'm nervous, I'll keep biting my nails when I get nervous. But you need to be able to be aware of, why am I biting my nails? Oh, it's because I'm nervous. Well, what else can I do? And then, oh, I'll work out instead. And that's all it was for me. It was being aware of when I was biting my nails and when I was doing any unwanted behavior, just being aware of it and reflecting and saying, why am I doing this? Do something else. And it's that part of the reprogramming as well. And then incorporating your new habit and then rewarding yourself. It's very important. But you can break habits. Again, you should listen to this book. It will help you if you haven't listened to it already. My book recommendation for this video is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. And this book explains the habits that a successful person encompasses. And it tells you what those habits are and how you incorporate them into your life and how to use them. My biggest takeaway for this book is the fact that you should start every goal with the end in mind. So whatever it is, whatever your goal is, you should always think about the end. And that should take you through the beginning. Like you should always be thinking, if you want to make it into the NHL, that should be your thought. That's what will get you through the grind of the start. Always thinking about the end. For me, the end in mind is being able to do a muscle up and a planche, and I have that in mind. I have a picture of that, and I'm always thinking about that. And when I'm doing the little exercises to get me there, that's reassurance that I will get there. For public speaking, it's the same thing. I want to speak in front of thousands of people and motivate people. I have that in mind. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe and watch my other videos.